YR. Today I am joined with YR alum Kristi Hape, who is going to talk today about her YR experience and just sort of how she's carried on the YR legacy throughout her life. So Kristi, how are you today?
Hey, we're doing well. How are you, Sam?
I'm doing A-okay. All right, so the first question I have for you today is, what are you up to? Like, what are you doing today?
Today was a day of training as a social emotional learning specialist for the Evansville-Vanderburgh School Corporation. So I was with my cohort of teachers and leaders on that cell curriculum piece that we do in the schools and working together with teachers. Also momming it hard this morning and collaborating everybody's rides home by the time we got home from school. So a little bit of all of that going on today.
All right, awesome. So Kristi, how involved were you in YR?
I actually got recruited into YR. It would have been in probably 1989, 90, something along those lines. As an eighth grader, I came to a tabletop discussion group and learned from some of the seniors that were traveling around the district to share. We didn't have a middle school program back then that we could be involved in, but as a freshman, I got involved in what is your teen advisory council. From there, I was able to grow in leadership, and we had a grant program develop and had the opportunity to really practice my leadership skills through that grant program, because as we started, I was just on the committee to help out with the grant program, and then grew to my senior year where I was leading the group itself on the student side and helping to make decisions about who got funded and who didn't. We also did some really neat things in the community as far as recording some advertisement for keeping kids off drugs. And we had a little bit of some activities in the community where we were educating people within our community about making sure that they were checking IDs and kind of spot checking in different locations, what the people behind the counter were doing as far as checking IDs and making them aware of that process. So a lot of different things that I was able to be involved with as a team.
All right, awesome. That was such a good answer. So like, what skills did you learn from your time in the Teen Advisory Council that have stuck with you throughout your life?
Well, I think the biggest thing for me was just learning to work with a large group of people from a diverse experiences across the district, because now things are different for you guys. Sam, I have teenagers myself, and everyone's connected through social media. There's a lot of crossover between the schools as far as activities go, and kids attending prom and other buildings, and connecting in different ways outside of something like youth resources. But when I was in school, that was one of the unique things that I gained as far as being able to be part of youth resources. I was able to really make friends with kids from other schools and connect with them in different ways. And then when we would have athletic events and other things going on, it meant I knew people across the court from me, and I knew people within the city. It was a great experience as far as opening my eyes to all of the different needs that we had across our city, and really the first opportunity to do that, because I did grow up at Wrights High School and I was on the west side. And when you're on that side of town, sometimes you don't tend to travel across, us west side, which is really bad about not wanting to leave the west side to go across town, even though it's only 7 minutes. So for me as a student, I think learning about our diverse culture in Evansville was really important, and that helped me to grow as a leader. Also, just having the opportunity as a student to be a leader. So we talk about leadership with our athletes and with our students in buildings who are involved in different community events and activities in theater and in band. But not every student has an opportunity to be a leader in those positions. And on your athletic teams, you can be a servant leader, get your practice, in that way. But being an actual leader who's making decisions, feeling empowered to be part of that decision-making process, and knowing that we were trusted by those in leadership above us, that we were developing those skills there. That was a unique experience for me as a student.
Awesome. So next question. So right now, as you mentioned a little bit earlier, you have some daughters going through their YR journey right now. What is it like to see youth resources impact in your daughters' lives?
Well, I absolutely was ecstatic when Mia decided to get involved. She is my oldest, and she was the first to kind of get involved in youth resources. And having that opportunity for her at the school level was amazing, because for me, the only opportunity that I really had initially was getting up at 6 a.m. in the morning, like many of you have, and going to the meetings early in the morning. I think we had them once a month, and traveling, there. I did have another person in my building from Wrights that went with me. So I was carpooling and sharing that, and have some good memories of making connections early in the morning in that way. But at the same time, knowing that Mia had that opportunity in her building was really important for me. And I enjoy the fact that she could be involved as a freshman in activities that connected kids from different buildings, even within her own building. One of the first activities I think she was involved in was getting together students from Mater Dei and Wrights after their Mater Dei Wrights football game for pizza. And those connections are important. So I was really excited when she could do that. And then this summer was doubly meaningful for me because I was able to send my youngest daughter to camp with Mia. And for Addie, the first time sleeping away, and having those experiences and being around other people, it was just really important for her, especially after all of the challenges our students went through last year with the restrictions and COVID. I feel like what she got, Addie, as far as an upcoming 7th grader, was really, really important for her to understand her own abilities to grow as a leader. And when she left, she came out with the thought of she's going to start YR at Perry Heights. So I'm really excited for that for her. It's very empowering.
Yeah, good for her. That's awesome. Okay, so what does it mean to you to be a YR alumni?
When we first got back to town, Mia got involved really quickly. And so as a YR alum, I've moved around. As soon as I graduated college, we were located in Florida and in Northern Indiana. And we followed my husband for his football career. Basically, wherever we went, it was because of a move for football. So we never did have a program in the other areas where we lived. The girls could get involved in such a way. So as a YR alum, I'm really excited that I can now come back and be part of YR, not only through my girls, but through other avenues too. But it's just really exciting to be a part of it again, because there's really nothing like it in any other place as far as the options and the opportunities for growth as a leader that YR offers for our students.
Yeah, there's plenty of opportunities to grow through our programs. Okay. So finally, we're gonna go ahead and end on a fun one. What was your favorite memory from being a student in YR?
I was trying to think of which one was my most favorite memory. I can remember we had some significant snow the year that I was in charge of trying to make grant committee decisions. And we had a lot of fun telling our stories about how long it took us to get there and how far we had to drive and who had, the most snow on their way across town. But I think one of the most meaningful connections that I had was with Tamara Skinner. As soon as we moved back to town, I connected with her right away and was able to say, hey, I remember you from YR. Because one of the first things that I did as a behavior consultant in my first role in moving back to Evansville was work at Glenwood with her in her role as a principal there. And we were able to make that connection right away. And so I think those connections have really stuck with me throughout the years. And I've been able to come back and connect with some people that I was involved in YR in now that we've moved back to Evansville. So those connections never go away. The ones that you foster and develop are meaningful and life-changing.
For sure, yeah. All right, awesome. Well, that was really cool. Thank you so much for sitting down with me and having this interview. I really enjoyed talking to you. So that's going to conclude this YR Alumni Weekend interview. There's still a lot of events that are going on and hope that you guys can still attend them. Thank you so much, Kristi, for joining me today and letting me ask you a few questions.
Oh, no problem. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you so much. See you around.
All righty.